Oh, God damn it. This fucking thing. I'm not so sure about that. Betting on the Eagles fake sharp degen, LMAO? What makes you say that? What makes you say that? Also, the Eagles are not sharp. Actually, money's coming in on the Packers, which I don't love. Unk didn't watch, but trying to emphasize calling illegal formations on Stanley all night, not doing it on the Chiefs tells you everything. Alan, when I was tweeting about illegal formations, I was in fact watching the game. I think I made it almost the entire first quarter. So, yeah, and I'm aware they didn't call them on the Chiefs. You don't have to watch the game to know that. You can log into Twitter or social media for maybe about, 45 seconds. But yeah, Primer, I don't know. The Packers by 14. Oh, wait, did you delete that comment? I thought I saw that somewhere. Hold on one second. Let me, I hear the Discord's on. Let me turn that off. Packers a better team. Well, maybe. Not according to Vegas. Vegas is saying that the Eagles are 2 points better on a neutral field. I'm not saying that they're necessarily right. I just don't know what would give you so much conviction to think that the Packers are a better team. But hey, Do your thing. I'm not going to talk you off. It is my best bet. The Eagles are my best bet. We'll get into that in a little bit. I don't want to go balls deep yet while we're just getting started here and got some people rolling on in. Man, yesterday's stream was lit, as the kids would say. That was awesome. It was packed in here. Numbers were great. Love to see it. People are fired up about football. I'm fired up about football. I thought last night's game was pretty good. I think I'm shaking off the jet lag pretty well, but had really my busiest day since being back. Work-wise, I mean, I did the stream, fucking an hour and a half, and then I went on Owner's Box for an hour, had 3 appointments, came back, scurried home, ordered some Thai food, shoved it down my mouth while I did a 2-hour space with Mid-Major, but Alan Dims will still find a way to bitch. I try to keep the Twitter stuff off during primetime games. Interesting. That's I don't know why you would do that off of prime time, but anyways, maybe because everybody's watching and you don't care to hear everyone's opinion. That's fine. Had to congratulate him, give him some glaze. Who are we talking about? He's a Cowboys fan, so he won't take the Eagles. GB destroyed the Cowboys too. Oh, that's right. That's right. Always buy the points. I don't know that I necessarily agree with that. I buy points. Most people would tell you not to. I think it depends, but I buy points if it's on a key number. I don't hate if it's like 2.5 and you want the 3 or 3.5, 3 for insurance, for a push. I've done it in the past. I remember one of the big ones was, let's see, one of my best bets a couple years ago. I think it was 2021. It was Trey Lance was the quarterback for the 49ers on the road against Arizona, and the Niners were 5.5-point dogs. I bought 1.5 to get it to 7. I usually buy points if I'm going to wager more than a unit, so I think I did 1.5 units. So I risked 1.5 units. I bought 1.5 so my win was less obviously than what I was risking, but it was still around a unit, and it pushed. It wasn't even a win, but because of that, I saved myself. It's not going to always happen, but I think around key numbers, you can do whatever you want. It's your money at the end of the day. Weird take from Vegas. What was the weird take? By the way, I missed it. Steak had the most electric opening night sweat for his life. Dude, Steak is a machine. He's a machine. I hope he has a great fucking season. I'm sure he will. I've really never known Steak to I mean, I'm sure, we've never been those guys that have like really been good about tracking our bets until, just a couple years ago when we've had the apps and stuff that can do it for you. I was never really a guy that did it in like a notebook or an Excel sheet or anything like that. Really just futures and Super Bowl bets when you have 50 wagers and you can't keep track. But you can always know, like when you come out of a season, at least. I mean, keep in mind, I've been gambling for, 37, 20 years. 20, yeah, because I graduated high school, I'm 17, so 18 when I was like legally able to do it. When you have a season, you're like, that season sucked. I got my ass kicked. You felt like you come out of a season and you just won, like you were profitable maybe like 3 or 4 weeks, which that is the reality, by the way. People on sports Twitter, you would never know. You think if you only have a 4 or 5 profitable weeks of a 17 or 18 week season, you would think you're the worst gambler alive. I'm here to tell you that is actually more towards the average. It's very hard. Gambling's very hard, but there's also some really, really good, smart and sharp sports bettors out there. I see, for whatever reason, and maybe this is the case, I just feel like every time I see somebody posting a recap of their record, all these motherfuckers are up 40 units. And not even just like last year. Like, for example, I know POD Pete was a great NFL bettor last year. And I think we did like some spaces and we did some streams together. I don't look at that and I'm like, how did it, I know he won as much as he did. But then I see some of these like, 3 and 4 year records for these sports cappers. I'm like, these motherfuckers just never lose. Is that what they do? They just never lose? I mean, if that's the case, good on them. Seriously, I wish I was that good. I don't think I'm that good. I've got really good years. I got really good wagers, but I'm consistently like that many units up. No, but also, like I said, I bet really, really small. I think what happens is when you increase your units and you hit those larger 5 unit, 10 unit plays, that probably attributes to it. Or if you hit parlays too. Anyways, Worthy is bad, right, Prime? Yeah, don't listen. My wife all day, she was talking about Worthy this, Worthy that. Last second. Mid-Major Matt on the space suggested maybe play Singletary. I had somebody else DM me, suggest play Singletary over Worthy, and then I called Steak. I said, I'm going to call Steak. We're going to put him on speakerphone. We're going to see what he says. Steak said Singletary. 3 for 3 Singletary. What happens? Xavier Worthy comes out and scores 20 points. You think I've heard the end of it? She's already made a comment 3 times. And I was watching the highlights of the game to catch up because I know, listen, you guys, mostly Alan wants to hold me accountable if I'm going to talk about games and not watch them, that maybe you lose some credibility and respect. So I want to make sure that I can find the time and do a good job of at least catching up and seeing it, which, to be fair, I like to do anyways. But I'll make it more of an emphasis and more of a point to do that. So I did. I was watching the highlights and, it wasn't great to have her in the background while we're eating breakfast. Just, Xavier Worthy, touchdown. Just, oh, God. But it's tough. Fantasy football is a bitch. And I tell her, like, it's gambling. She doesn't like gambling. Like, she likes it, like, for fun. But even if we go to a casino and, like, put $20 in the slot machine and you're done in 3 spins, she's like, this sucks. I'm out. I'm done. And I'm all good with that. That's why I don't really, I try to make the money last at least. You know what I mean? That's why I like sports and I don't even like blackjack. I really cannot fucking stand blackjack. When we were at the Monte Carlo casino, we played craps and we lost the first 2 rolls, which was unbelievable because craps should at least last you a little bit. But then we fought back, which was great, and I ended up winning. But I played blackjack there, and I think it was like $50 minimum, €50 minimum, whatever. I think I put down like 200. So I was like, I'll play 4 hands. 4 hands. And there were 3 times, I'm not kidding, there were 3 times I had a 20, and I pushed. They got a 20 as well. It's just unbelievable. I hate it. I hate it so much. And then all it takes is like 5 cards to fucking, 5 cards to have them get 21 when you have like a 19. You're like, this is so stupid. Dawson Maddock, what's up, YouTube game? Dawson, I don't think I've seen your name before. What's up? Baccarat guy. Actually, no. I would love to learn. I'm actually pretty good in math. I joke around all the time. I tell you I'm not a very smart guy, and I'm English was never my strong suit. And I just never really big with school. I love math. And I feel like Baccarat, if you learn Baccarat, you got to be good with numbers, right? Is that right? Oh, you're tailing Dawes. Oh, W's. W Steak for his parlay. Yeah, let's give Steak a nice little round of applause today. Not little. Let's give a round of applause right out of the gate with a, what was that? What was that, a 14-1 winner or a 15-1? You got to love that. Also, W's on the underdog parlay we put together yesterday. 4 legs, which is nothing crazy. I think it paid 11-1. Put $50 on it, and unfortunately, it's kind of my fault. The votes, the polls for the last leg is what sold. It was Roquan Smith over 5.5 solo tackles, and unfortunately, he did not have over 5.5 tackles. And what would have won was what you guys had voted on the most: Zay Flowers over first quarter yards, over 9.5 yards. So good on you. I kind of take the blame for that because I think I influenced people to vote for Roquan Smith. That's really unfortunate. Day one, yeah. I mean, listen, I just want to comment on that. Prime Bets reached a 7 streams streak. W's. Jay Free with a sub bang, 12-monther. Happy year anniversary, Jay Free. Appreciate it. Appreciate all the support, guys. Seriously. And while you're here, if you haven't already, W newsletter this morning. W Greg Steak. We are in the Circa Millions, by the way. We have 5 bets punched in. First year we've ever done this. I'll tell you what those are a little bit later. Subscribe to the newsletter. W subscribe. Thank you. I am Talk Locks. Dude, get to the games. What the fuck? Shut the fuck up, BK. BK hit me up, by the way, this morning. It was hilarious. He's like, hey, didn't you do like a Philly cheesesteak review? I was like, yeah, I did. It sounds great. I want a cheesesteak now, by the way. But I totally forgot what the name of the cheesesteak place was that I went to. So instead of telling him, I feel like such a millennial, or not a millennial, I feel like such a Gen Zer. I had to go to my TikTok and send him the video because I didn't put the name of the thing anywhere. I totally forgot. And then I saw the video and I was like, oh, Angelo's. That's right, Angelo's. Great cheesesteak. By the way, BK, the one thing though, to everybody, read the comments. Read the comments. I love comments. That's one of the big things with Twitter. It's like the fact checking there is like people in the comments. They'll hold you accountable. People will you'll get ironed out in the comments. Everybody told me I fucked up and didn't get Cooper Sharp. The video did numbies. It did. I think it got like 150,000 views. Did you see the fucking Carnival video on there? 4 million views for Carnival. And so many people are like, you didn't get scammed. You just didn't listen. I'm like, bro, if you could pay attention and follow what that motherfucker said, kudos to you because I didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. Anyways, comments are the best. Yeah, I agree. BK probably gave you so much shit for sending your video to him and not just telling him. Actually, I expected more shit to come from him. He didn't really chirp me too much. By the way, I told you there's a little teaser, but BK and I are in talks to go golfing together. Not this Saturday, but next Saturday. And we're going to, yeah, he didn't care. I can vouch for that. We're going to, where are we going, BK? Bethpage? Very excited. I'm going to he told me I have to get there at 6 a.m. I'll be up nice and early, which is fine. I wake up early anyway. Hopefully I'm still jet lagged by then. It'll be super easy. So I'm really looking forward to that. Don't ever stop shooting the shit despite what people say. Got to have some healthy banter before Slate Talk. Johnny, I'm glad you said that. I totally agree. And trust me, I would never, I like to be a man of the people and give them what they want. You know, if the feedback comes in and it's like, oh, we don't really care for this and you should do this, I'm down. But no, shooting the shit is in my DNA and it's one of my strengths and what I love and enjoy. So we'll never not shoot the shit. Also, I just think it makes so much sense because I hate when people come in after we start. We could be done talking about the Eagles game right now, or at least done talking about certain parts of it, and then people just roll out of bed, or it's fucking 7:45 on the West Coast. Maybe people were getting situated at work, and I don't fucking know they're doing anything, and then they come in here and they're like, "Oh, DJ, what did you say you liked for so and so?" I'm like, God damn it, we need to figure out the strokes, dude. You're not giving me 5 to 7 strokes. You literally live by a golf course, and you go to bed. You go to golf every weekend. That's not fair. I've golfed maybe 3 times this entire year. Maybe. Life is hard. Shit like this makes it a little more fun. W's, Johnny. Appreciate that. W yapping, Corco. You like the yapping too? Love that. Team yap. I think people who don't care for the shit, shooting the shit probably just come in later. That's what I think. Was Ravens +3 the worst beat in the history of sports? No. I'll tell you why. That's a good question. I'll tell you why. If you assume that the Ravens were just going to kick the extra point to go to overtime, although I think they were going to go for 2, I'm sure, which I agree with, by the way. But if you tie the game, you still could lose in overtime. That's the way I look at it. Healthy banter. Thanks, Johnny. You just gave DJ another 30 minutes. No. No, how do we feel about the timeout? How do we feel about the timeout? Actually, I don't know that I really saw the timeout part. Again, I just kind of caught up as much as I could. You made the +3 bet. Oh, geez, we were going for 2. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this. In what I gathered from that game, and again from watching just the first quarter live, I thought it was a really good drive by the Ravens to go down and score when they did. Derrick Henry got in the end zone. I thought Lamar Jackson looked pretty good. Despite missing Zay Flowers in the end zone, I thought he looked good. That offensive line looks shaky, but man, I think the Chiefs defense is good. Let's recap the game a little bit. That still kind of falls under the banter category, I think. Let's recap the game a little bit because I think recapping stuff, recapping bets, whether they're winners or losers, I love recapping. That's why I started the podcast. I haven't really done it lately, but the recap. I like looking back and seeing where you went wrong, where you went right, what you can pick up from and whatnot. I think, am I wrong? Tell me I'm wrong. Alan, you'll probably tell me I'm wrong. Am I wrong in thinking that the Chiefs defense looked really fucking good? They looked smart. They looked prepared. They were dialed in. Like everybody on that defense just looks like they have a really high IQ and they play really well and they tackled so well. I couldn't believe it. Oh yeah, I'm with you. The Derrick Henry acquisition for the Ravens does not move the needle for me at all. And again, I remind you, I am on the Ravens under wins, and I've said I want this to be my phrase. 8 months too late to get Derrick Henry. They should have gotten him last year. If the Ravens get Derrick Henry last year, they probably win the Super Bowl. This does nothing for me. But Lamar Jackson did look very good. I will say that. Isaiah Likely, dog. Love Likely. Likely was a big reason I faded Mark Andrews last year. Alan Dims, I think the Chiefs line was better than expected, than Henry being expected. Yeah, the Ravens are really good. Yes, I do agree. I'm going to tell you this as somebody who faded the Ravens on the year and under 9.5 wins. Obviously, I need that loss, and I'm happy to have that. I don't feel great about the bet. Hold on 1 second. This coffee's getting a little cold. Would you guys agree? I don't feel great about the bet. We don't make plays when it matters. True. Lamar will be the only reason the Ravens succeed this year. His O-line had him on his heels for the majority of dropbacks. It's pretty fair. Yeah, that's fair. Recaps are very beneficial. I remember first following you, we would spend a lot of time recapping to find angles. W Hill Daddy. Thank you. Yeah, I agree. I'm glad you guys like it. Why the fuck would you get Henry just for Lamar to outrush him and have more attempts? Makes no sense. Ravens had some questionable calls past couple of years. On a real note, I don't see how anybody can sit here and knock the Ravens on a week 1 loss defending champs. Played super sloppy and still. Yeah, I agree. Great first quarter, then completely crumbled. Ravens' schedule is so brutal for the next couple of weeks. Yep. He cannot throw the deep ball accurately. I think what I really don't like about the Ravens, Snacks, I'm going to tell you what I don't like about the Ravens. I don't like all the stuff that the Ravens are saying about the Chiefs. Why are they doing that? Why is Isaiah likely saying like, oh, that's the best they got? Blah, 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 blah. Why are they doing that? Why are you going to piss off the Chiefs? The Chiefs are just going to walk into another Super Bowl. Like, come on. Don't forget to give Chris Jones credit for those dropbacks. Very true. Henry had always had low rushing attempts and negative game scripts. The biggest takeaway was how bad the OLL looked compared to last year. Yeah, that is a takeaway that also it was kind of expected, I think, for most people. I don't understand, right? I don't understand that. Why are you talking shit to the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes? Let me tell you right now, I'll give you another takeaway. I came out of that game thinking the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl. And then once I saw those comments, I almost went and put 2.5 units on it. Seriously. You guys think that's a bad bet? I'm not kidding. That defense is so fucking good. And now what you see with Mahomes, I mean, look, I don't think the guy should be playing, but Rashee Rice is a weapon. Xavier Worthy, weapon. This motherfucker's got weapons. See you later, Tyreek Hill. They got weapons. Travis Kelce doesn't even really need to do much anymore. He can kind of be like a decoy. He's throwing the ball to, who's that other fucking white dude, 84? Who is he? I don't even know. Speed, baby. Yeah, Rashay, I know, right? They're on their heads today. Yeah. They're loaded. They're loaded. I really think so, man. I think I've said this. I think Patrick Mahomes, at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, is going to have as many, and I know this isn't a crazy groundbreaking prediction, I think he's going to have as many, if not more, Super Bowls than Tom Brady. He's just that good. He plays the game you can't have a more perfect type of quarterback, in my opinion. And I'm not talking about the physical build of him. I'm talking about up here, the way he plays the game. He's so smart. He knows where everybody is. It's crazy. It's not fair. I'll tell you that. It's not fair. Look, I've had to deal with fucking Josh Freeman, Brian Greasy. We had Brian Greasy as a quarterback. Sucks. Jeff Garcia, Josh Johnson, Hurts, Byron Leftwich. All these quarterbacks. The Kansas City Chiefs get the Patrick Mahomes. They're so spoiled. It's crazy. Brian Greasy is crazy. Yeah, I went to a training camp by myself. I know Alan Dims. If Alan Dims knew the young DJ, he'd be like, wow, you're the biggest sports fan I ever seen. I literally drove from Orlando to Tampa multiple times to go watch the Bucs training camp by myself. And I sat there and I got fucking autographs. I got Booger McFarland. I got Greg Spires. You probably don't even know who that is. Brian Greasy. What number cup of coffee is this? 3. I woke up at 5, finished up the newsletter, had two. Went for a run, had breakfast. My wife got empanadas. We love empanadas. Usually it's a weekend thing. We get a beef and a chicken. It's fucking fantastic. Had some corp emails, and then I should be pretty. Actually, you know what? Hold on. I just got a text. Let's see if this is good news or bad news. Oh my gosh. Oh my God, that's great news, actually. Okay, good news just came in. Yes, we love that. Rashee Rice is all underneath, went into the slot motion. Yep. Keon Coleman is better wide receiver. I don't know about that. I tore out his patio when he lived here. Who? I don't know, but I made a video about that. Does anybody remember my tweet? You guys actually, hold on. I'll never forget. Some Bills fan commented on it. I gotta go to my let's see. Wow, fuck. What did I search for that? Bills, maybe? Bills? Hold on. Let's see if I can find it. Bills. Hold on. I made a video saying I can't believe the Bills are going to be the reason the Chiefs get. Fuck. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it. God, there was a comment on this tweet that I was like, I feel like this dude is going to regret saying this. Oh my God, there's so many Gabe Davis things up here. All right, I'm going to give it one more second of scrolling. Is it not the Bills? Xavier Worthy? Let me look at Xavier Worthy. Hold on. Worthy. Let's see if I can find it this way. God damn it, this is annoying. This is the problem sometimes when you caption things, you have to use keywords so you can find it later. Anyways, this guy was saying, I was like, I can't believe if you're the Bills, you trade with the Kansas City Chiefs, team just knocked you out of the playoffs. You know what I would do if I'm a GM? I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. All right, I'm a GM. I'm a GM of the Buffalo Bills, and all of a sudden I'm there on. No. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm the GM of the Buffalo Bills, right? Because the Chiefs called the Bills to make this trade. Here's what happens. All right, GM of the Bills on draft day. Bring. Look at my phone. I see it's the Kansas City Chiefs. Hello. Kansas City Chiefs guy's like, hey, Buffalo, blah, 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 how's it going? Fine, what's up? What can I do for you? Hey, we're interested in a click. The fact that didn't happen, the Buffalo Bills general manager entertained that phone call, says a lot about that person. I don't know who it is. Maybe you guys can tell me. If I'm the Buffalo Bills general manager, I hang up the phone in a millisecond. If the Kansas City Chiefs are inquiring about moving up and taking the pick, fuck that shit. You can't trust that team. Not to mention all they do is break your heart. And then you're going to make a deal with them so they can move up and take a player they want? Fuck that. I can't believe it. Honestly, I can't believe it. Burrow will stop the Chiefs week 2. It's Burrowhead Stadium, not Arrowhead. I don't know about that. Basically gave them another AFC title. I don't know if they're going to win the title necessarily because of Worthy, but off the bat, it's, I'm just telling you, what's going to happen. Worthy is going to make a fucking play against the Bills, and then we're going to just hear about it all nonstop on social media. Oh, all right. Look at that. Greg, by the way, I don't even know if I told you this. Greg is going to come on and talk NFL with me. So let's see. He just said link. Boom. I didn't know if he was actually going to make it. January, all that matters. Yep. So anyways, my biggest takeaway is I think the Chiefs probably have themselves another Super Bowl. I don't know who's stopping them. The defense looks incredible. Patrick Mahomes is too good. But I thought the Ravens, for the most part, still looked pretty good. I shouldn't say the Ravens look good. I think Lamar Jackson looked good. Skinny Lamar, pandemic with a sub bang. By the way, W pandemic yesterday, 20-monther. Good morning to everyone who bet their over last night and absolutely no one else. Yeah, well, it depends what number you got. If you got over 47, obviously you got to push. You got free entertainment, whatever. But if you got 46.5, 46, whatever, congratulations. It was definitely pretty sweaty if you had that under. I know all the smart people did, but glad nobody got hurt. W Matt Nunk Spaces, thank you. That was great. Matt did a great job. I love hearing his thoughts, and we'll do more of those throughout the season for sure. Also, Sunday morning, 10 to tomorrow I'm going to be on Ramble, 9:30, I think. And then Sunday morning, Steak and I are going to start doing a stream for an hour, 10 to 11 Eastern, and we're strictly going to be talking player props. It's going to be all player props for the day, and I'm going to give you my masterclass candidates. And now, typically, if you know anything about my masterclass candidates from last season, they all would end up having a terrible game. So we're going to hope that we right the ship. The player props, my player prop read started out pretty well. Derrick Henry under longest rush. By the way, I saw Beeve, moron, idiot Beeve, with 2 units on that over. What is he doing? Nobody takes that bet. Felt like he was directly fading me for a second. Under that was a good look. And then tweeted this a while ago, and I never ended up doing it. I told myself, I said, I wasn't very good on props last year. I don't want to go in heavy on the props and get my ass kicked and start the season in a hole. But Lamar Jackson under 1.5 passing touchdowns. I think it was juicy as fuck, minus 160 something. But that was under. So Harrison Butker had a nice day. But yeah, the fucking underdog parlay. So anyways, we'll get steak or not steak. We'll get Greg up here in a minute. Looking forward to having him on the stream. I hope he's got high energy today. All right. I'm not necessarily saying we got the highest of vibes with music or anything like that on this Friday. But we are going to, Mahomes interception. Nice. Can you guess what I'm going to say about DGen taking player props? No, I don't know what you're going to say. By the way, I've already got a guy on my list. It's not Baker and it's not Sam Darnold. Does anybody want to guess? It's a wide receiver. Does anybody want to guess right now? I already have him punched in. I have a receiver right now already punched in. Alt over 175 yards. Alt over. Can anybody guess who it is? Look at this. Perfect timing. Greg, you look great. Nice jacket.
It's a little shirt jacket.
Is that what it is? I was going to say it's not very cold outside.
No, but it's like it's good. It's fall.
Yeah. It is fall.
On fall's doorstep.
Yeah, that's true. We got some rain coming tomorrow, but I will say next week, though, we're getting into the 80s. I don't know if you looked at the forecast.
I do not look at the forecast. Shocker, the forecast changes.
Dude, it's not going to change like, the high is going to be 82 on Monday, and then Monday comes and it's 65. So I'm just saying, you're not going to be wearing your jacket next week, okay?
Sure. Fucking weatherman over here.
Greg, how many cups of coffee have you had this morning?
3.
Okay, I figured. I'm on your level.
I had 1, and then I had a coffee meeting. I was just in a coffee meeting.
And so what'd you do, 2 coffees there?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
No, I had 2 this morning, actually, and 1 there.
2 this morning, 1 there. Okay, well, thank you for hopping on. We haven't had you on the stream in quite a while. Oh, no, actually, it hasn't been too long. Couple weeks, maybe?
It's been a bit.
Well, it's good to have you. The newsletter is out. I think I've already plugged it once. If you, what is it? Anyone else think he's swallowing the mic a bit? Who, me? Am I a little too close? Do I sound like shit?
Yeah, it's a little scratchy.
Really? Man, I don't know what's going on with this. Can you tell me if it sounds like, can you tell me if it sounds any better?
That's a little bit better. It could be the humidity. Did you check the forecast on humidity?
It's actually a funny joke. Hold on. DGen would piss 10 times in a coffee meeting. You're just a little close, I think. Maybe I am. Had to turn my volume down 10%. What the fuck? Why do you guys wait 33 minutes before you start bitching about it?
It wasn't unbearable, but it wasn't good.
Yeah, well, I like it to be good. I like it to be crisp. Anyways, thanks for joining, Greg. Let's too loud. Okay. Let's talk before we talk about the weekend games and kind of fine tune our best bets. And again, we are in the Circa Millions for the first year. Bang, got that
one hat.
Yeah, sorry, you don't have a hat. I got one hat.
$100, we can't give away 2 hats.
I probably could have asked for one more. But anyways, has to much stir up the courage too. We told you this 3 days in a row. Well, I thought it got better. I'm sorry. Can I be honest? Nothing has been better than Derek Jeter's story with the fucking drunk Greg. Yeah, Greg, I think I told that Derek Jeter story while you were not on here. Do you remember it pretty as vividly as I do?
I remember the story of it.
You were that was top 3 drunkest I've ever seen you.
That was a big sidebar day. That was a big sidebar day.
Gators,
one of those ones where I should have went home after the 1 o'clock game and stayed out till 8.
Well, you had to stay out till 8 because Derek Jeter was coming.
Well, yeah, I did not buy that at all.
Oh, but all day, Greg was like, "There's no Derek Jeter. There's no Derek Jeter." That was funny.
I just genuinely didn't think it was going to happen, and that's why I came in hot. And
listen, I don't trust anyone or believe a lot of things that I hear. I had a hard time thinking it was happening too. When that motherfucker walked in the door, I was even shell shocked. But anyways, glad you made it. Now Greg living the dad life. I'm ready to hammer Jaden Reed receptions over. Let's talk about this Packers Eagles game. So I am on the Eagles. It's my best bet for the week. I think it got to -2 this morning when I officially punched it in. I think for the Circa Millions, it's going to be all our best bets are going to be a play and then 2 more, which we're not totally in agreement with, but we're good enough, I think, for the most part. Eagles -2 is the official number that we got for the Circa Millions contest as well.
Okay.
I'm not going to totally be surprised here if the Packers end up making me regret fading them and come out and Jordan Love is him. I know everybody wants him to win the MVP. I know everybody's really high on the Packers this year. I've kind of talked at length a little bit yesterday. We put it in the newsletter. I talked about it on the space last night. So before I kind of give my closing thoughts on this, Greg, by the way, I'm just going to get up and turn my AC on for a second. Where do you officially stand with this game? Packers, Eagles in Brazil. Eagles are -2. The total is 49.
49.5. Is it down to 49?
It was 49.5. You're right. It's 49 at Bet Rivers, but it's 49.5 just about everywhere else.
You know what sucks to start my NFL gambling last night? Stake got it at 46.5. On action, I punched it in at 47. So I thought it was at 47. And FanDuel, when I punched it in yesterday, was 47.5.
They moved it right when you punched it in?
No, I punched it in on yesterday was Thursday. So I punched it in on Wednesday. And it came down.
Oh, so you punched it in a day early and you got 47.5.
Yeah, because I knew I was going to be running around all day yesterday. So I was like, all right, I just want to get this out of the way and punch it in.
Oh, dude, that sucks. I mean, you never know. They tell you to punch in bets early, but you just never know which way the number's going to move and if you're going to get the best of it.
Sliver.
All right. That is a pretty shitty way to start your career. Or not your career, your season.
Yeah. But anyway, so I'm on the Eagles tonight at 49.5. I also.
You mean you're on the over at 49.5 or the Eagles?
Yeah, excuse me. I'm on the over at 49.5. I also parlayed the over in the Eagles money line. So I'm with you on the Eagles. I do think they win. The -2 is a little scary, although it's a neutral. Like -2 if they were at home would scare me way more. Yeah. But -2 on a neutral, that's just where the line landed. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that doesn't scare me as much. But I do think the Eagles. I think expectations are just a little high on the Packers. I've heard a lot of people talk about the Packers and the Texans being in similar camps of just sort of trendy teams that sort of are young, overachieved last year, big expectations this year. So both of those teams I'm kind of looking to fade. I actually faded the Texans. I didn't want to fade both on their season totals. So I just faded the Texans. But I do think the Packers struggle a little bit too. I mean, especially you get Jordan Love. Like he had 1 year and he was great. He was fine. I'm not saying he was phenomenal, but he was very good. Now he just got a boatload of money. Like, I don't know. So I'm happy with the Eagles tonight.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good to hear. I wasn't totally sure if you were sold on the Eagles. I don't think Steak is, which is giving me a little bit of concern.
Oh, really? He was hot on him in the beginning.
He was hot on him in the beginning, but he's starting to come around. I think Beeman put a little something in his head where he's like, I don't see anybody on the Packers. I think the Packers love is there, and you know, it's okay. I mean, I always still at my core would you know, I'm not looking to necessarily go out and just directly fade the public, but at the end of the day, wherever I stand, I hope that it's not where everybody else is long term. I just doesn't make me very comfortable. But I think this game's going to be fairly split. I think you're going to get people on the Eagles. I think you're going to get people on the Packers. I'm not going to overthink it. And at the end of the day, like what it really boils down to is it's not even so much a bet on the Eagles as it is just a bet against the Packers. Like you said, Jordan Love, phenomenal last year. I bet on the Packers, as most everybody that's watching already knows, and I don't want to keep repeating it. Did you bet on the Packers last year, or did you stay off?
I was on the Packers. I think I had them. I think I had their win total and make the playoffs.
Oh, you wouldn't make the playoffs too?
I think so. No, you know what it was? I had the Seahawks to miss the playoffs, but it became the Packers to make the playoffs because there was such a fine line between the two of them.
Yeah.
So I just had their win total.
Okay.
But one thing, actually, do you remember the Eagles fall off last year, right? The only thing I can think to compare it to is, and not to go Steelers, but when the Steelers went 11-0 in Chase Claypool's first year, and they were phenomenal. And then on the back end of the season, I think they went 4-1. Like they lost every game, and they lost the home playoff game to the Browns. And the next year, yourself included, everybody was looking to fade them, and everybody had kind of thought this team. I just feel like when teams fall off that hard at the end of the year and the core is still there, like they're a little bit pissed off to start the season. So I do like Philly to sort of bounce back, especially with new coordinators. I'm not a Sirianni guy by any means, but
you're
I
not.
do think they get the taste of last year out of their mouth quickly.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too. And by the way, I'm not a Sirianni guy. I went at it with a guy on one of the longtime followers on Twitter. This guy Doughboy something. What do you have that look for?
Because you bet him coach of the year.
Can you let me finish? I just want to make it clear. I have when I coming out of the gate with the goober sayings, the interviews, the press conferences. I did not like Sirianni, and this guy on Twitter who was an Eagles fan, diehard Philly guy, Doughboy something, whatever. He's like, oh, they're just taking press clippings and trying to make him look bad or blah 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 blah. And I'm like, whatever you want to say to defend it. I'm not really a Sirianni guy, but I became a Sirianni guy after that Super Bowl run. And then what you come to find out last year when he started to buy in and I had the Eagles win the Super Bowl, it was very much benefited from two great coordinators. I think the pendulum swung so hard one way from having Gannon and Steichen to so hard the other way with those two fucking dipshits they had who Brian Johnson, I cannot remember the defensive coordinator. They were abysmal. And Greg, I know we are always reference Warren Sharp's book, and I'm sorry if it's annoying as fuck to the followers. But again, it's a great book. There was some stats in there about the Eagles. I talked about this on the space last night that I really can't believe, but also I remember witnessing when you watch the Eagles. I thought their play calling was so atrocious, so boring. The offense was lethargic and slow. Jalen Hurts held the ball longer, was under more pressure, yet he was throwing it a shorter distance. None of that makes sense. If you're going to hold the ball longer and take in more pressure, it's probably because you want to go downfield and you want the play to develop. They were so bad. So anyways, I think that the offense is going to take a gigantic step forward from what we saw last year because it was abysmal. Now, the defense still concerns me. I like that they addressed the secondary in the draft, but that's not going to necessarily happen overnight.
They got that one guy back, too, from the Lions.
Yeah, Gardner Johnson. Gardner Johnson. The linebackers are a big question mark. They got Devin White, who's been a strange story.
Not there.
Well, he didn't travel. Yeah, he didn't travel. Yeah. I don't really know what else they're doing at linebacker. The defensive line.
Kobe Dean guy from Georgia. So we're spending a lot of time on this Eagles game though. But I get it; it's your best bet.
Yeah, it's the best bet. We'll move forward.
Oh, and it's tonight. That's true.
Yeah. That's all right though. It's okay. You can say that if it's an opinion you have. Sean Desai, DC. Thank you, Zach Fusi. That guy fucking sucked. Yeah. You know what? I'm a Kellen Moore believer too. But at the end of the day, I don't want to put too much stock into Kevin Moore. I remember I liked him in Dallas. Thought Dallas was really good. Remember, Greg, I don't know where we got that stat from, but we were talking about it, where the Cowboys were like the only team for the past 4 years that had scored the second most points of the Kansas City Chiefs or something like that, or gained the most yards. There was some stat that was to show that
Delaney. Sounds like Delaney.
Whatever. But there was a stat to show that the Cowboys offense under Kellen Moore had done a very, very good job. But anyways, I think that at least they have two guys now that are competent at the coordinator position. But it's going to be a high-scoring game. I like the over. I think it's going to be 37-27 Eagles. And I'm very excited to see how Saquon Barkley does in this offense. Now, with that said, do you have any players that you're into tonight? Because I actually don't have as many. I had some pretty good reads yesterday. The Underdog parlay went 3 for 4. By the way, if you sign up to Underdog, promo code DJ, and you can see it down here, 50% deposit match up to $250. But I'm looking at the board. I'm going to bring it up here in a second. I wanted to bet on Sack and have that be my guy. But here's the thing. I don't know how he's going to be utilized. I don't know if he's going to be more rushing attack or receiving yards. So I think I'm just going to sit tight and stay on the sideline with him. I want to go with Devontae Smith because I do think the Eagles are probably going to open up that passing game a little bit more, take more shots downfield, which was bizarre to me that they didn't do that more times last season because they did it with Steichen. I saw it in the flesh when I went to see them in Washington. I want to go either receiving yards for Devontae Smith or like longest reception over. But that's kind of it. That's all I'm really feeling. And then on the flip side with the Packers, stake is on Josh Jacobs to score a touchdown. I like it. I also kind of think I like Josh Jacobs rushing yards. The thing with I know I'm talking a lot. I'm almost going to wrap it up here. The thing with the Packers, they have a bunch of shiny toys, young toys on the for wide receivers. I don't know how to pick the right guy. I see everybody. If you open up Action Network and you go to props, I see 13 props entered on the Packers. I think 10 of them are Christian Watson over yards. If that's what you guys want to do, that's fine. I like Jaden Reed. I like Dontavian Wicks. I don't know who to pick.
Musgrave. They just got so many weapons. It's tough to figure out.
So many weapons.
Who it is.
Nobody's talking about Josh Jacobs. You want to know what's interesting, Greg? The last 5 games of the Packers season last year, including the 2 in the playoffs, they played well. They scored a fuck ton of points for the most part. But you know what nobody really talks about? Aaron Jones had over 100 rushing yards in the last 5 games. Now, I know Aaron Jones is good, but I think Josh Jacobs is good too. I think that maybe says something about their run game or their offensive line. I think the Eagles could be a little bit susceptible. You're probably game planning way more for the pass than you are for the run. I like Josh Jacobs tonight. So I'm leaning Josh Jacobs rushing yards, and I'm leaning Devontae Smith over receiving. Do you have anything that you are considering for a player prop?
I mean, honestly, if I were to get on the prop side, I'd probably go AJ Brown. I just feel like big game, first game of the season, different country, like just feed your horse. On the Eagles side, I would look at AJ Brown. On the other side, because you talked about the secondary. So the issue with the Eagles is they do have some guys and they do have some new guys, but I see that almost being an issue for like the number 3, number 4 guy. So I don't know why. Like maybe it was just the playoffs. I feel like he had a couple good games, but like Wicks catches my eye.
Dontavian Wicks.
If I had to take a guy, because I feel like he's kind of forgotten about. Because you have sort of the other 3 who are more premier. But I feel like he's, I don't know. I feel like he's kind of good to take apart a Philly defense. It's a little bit thin because he's not going to be the number 1 option, right?
Right.
They're probably game planning for Watson. They're probably game planning for Reed. But like Wicks might just fly under the radar, which is why I like him. Like he may not even be on here. Oh, there he is.
Yep. So you got 2.5 higher, lower, and you have receiving yards higher, lower. So you would go receptions, 3 catches, or would you go receiving yards?
I'd probably go touchdown. Fuck it.
No.
Why not?
Dontavian Wicks touchdown. You get that 8-1 right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, I mean, according to this. Wow, Aloha
good.
Bets loves that. Loves Wicks for a TD. Oh, sorry, I just saw that.
I'd rather do that than sweat out 30 yards. Come on, like I'd rather throw a quarter unit on it and hit 8-1 than sweat out 30 yards.
People are saying you're locked.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Prime Bet said fuck Greg, and then he got banned. I don't know what's going on there. I wouldn't have banned him. I would
have kicked him out.
You banned him. You don't know how to ban anybody. No, but in all seriousness, I kind of like that read. So Wicks would be your guy. I think stake his Josh Jacobs touchdown. I would be a Devontae Smith over longest reception. That's kind of it. I don't really have anything else that I'm into. Christian Watson in the country that has the giant Christ, the Redimir statue. Yep, that's a good one.
Redeemer? Christ the Redimir? Christ the reindeer? What the fuck did you just say?
Redimir.
Christ.
How do you say
Redeemer?
Redeemer?
Do you know what the statue is in Brazil?
Yeah, the big statue like this.
Yeah.
It's the Redeemer?
It's certainly not Christ the reindeer.
I didn't say reindeer. I said Redimir. I don't know. It could be Portuguese. Did you know Brazil speaks Portuguese? They're like the only South American. You did?
Yeah.
I bet you did.
We know Santos, Ashley's cousin married.
All right. Once you start throwing around government names, you never know with you. All right, wait.
Reindeer.
The Christ. I did not say reindeer.
Here's the one right after Rudolph.
I said Redimir. Although now that you say Redeemer, it makes a whole lot more sense. Anyways, I think that's probably enough talk. Ultimately, though, in case I haven't said it, Jordan Love, first game, highest paid player in the NFL, standalone game in Brazil, first NFL game in Brazil. I got to fade him. I just do. And for everybody
I think something to watch this weekend is to see who was it? It was Tua, it was Lawrence, it was Love. There's another one, but see how these guys who got a bunch of money, who haven't really done much, do. Hurts. Hurts is the other one. Oh, so fuck that. So
I don't really even know what you just said.
There were 4 quarterbacks that like reset the market in the offseason. It was Trevor Lawrence, it was Tua, it was Jordan Love, it was Jalen Hurts. They all got massive contracts without really doing much or without really like earning a Patrick Mahomes type style of contract, right? Like those are the 4 that it was kind of like, is this guy really the guy? And you're paying him that much. So I'm interested to see how all 4 of those guys do.
So my
yeah, that's very fair. Hurts did go to the Super Bowl. So I mean, I'm not trying to bash any of these guys and saying they're not good. It's just they got a lot of money and none of them have won a Super Bowl.
I've got my my little cousin Dom from Far Rockaway. You know little Dom. You met little Dom one time. He took Texas A&M last weekend like an asshole. I don't know why he would finish fade the Irish, but he said, "Hey, can you bet an NFL MVP on FanDuel?" I said, "No, you got to do it offshore." He said, "I wanted to put a little on Love." Jordan Love, man, everybody loves them some Jordan Love. I tell you, not saying my guy Dom is a fade by
I
any
also
means.
like being off because we were on him last year and we got it. You know what I mean? We kind of got it, but like you said, bought low. So now's the time to sell.
Yep, exactly. All right, let's talk more about your best bet. So you're going to go with the Colts. You're on the Colts plus. I changed it in the newsletter because they're at 3 now, but I didn't change it in the recap, so that kind of sucks. We'll go off.
I mean, with some of that stuff, it's liquid. Like, how are you going to pin it down? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I'll tell you what. If they lose by 3, I certainly would like the push on our record and not the loss.
That's true.
So that's why it's kind of important. I think what we should do for just like because I always want to be men of dignity. You should. Do you already have it punched in?
Yeah.
What do you have?
+3.
Oh, you do. Well, why would you put
+3
2.5 in the newsletter?
Because I always go after fan. The only way to do it is to go. I don't want to shop around for best lines and say, "Hey, you can find this at DraftKings. You can find this here." Like I feel like we just said it is everything is FanDuel.
No, we're gonna change that. We haven't had this conversation behind closed doors. We're gonna change that. You know why we're gonna change that? Because the options are there for people, and I think.
What if it was an offshore where I found that 3?
That would be different. I would say no.
It was offshore.
Oh, but it's now offered on the actual books. Hold on. This is BetMGM and DraftKings and Caesars. It's at 3.
Okay. Yeah, I got 3 110. And
Okay.
I sprinkled a little bit on the money line too.
Okay. So we're because the recap says 2.5, but the best bet says 3. We're officially 3 locked in, -115. So that's what you have as well. I think that's fair. I was a little apprehensive. I was a little nervous. I'm coming around to it more. It is a official Circa Millions play as well in the contest for us. I'm with it. You have them to win outright. You've also ended up coming around to fading the Texans on the season, which is very bold of you. I have to say, if I was your advisor, here's what I would tell you. I'd be like, Greg, you and Steak did a great job last year of identifying the value of the Houston Texans. You took them to win the division. You took their win total over, and you had C.J. Stroud, Rookie of the Year. What if you give some of those units back by fading a guy and a team that you identified as being pretty good? That would just kind of stink. However,
I wouldn't bet on a team. I stopped betting on them for forever because I don't want to give a unit back.
I literally just said the following year. You take a following year and you stretch it to forever. No, you can fade them later, but to immediately give it back.
But so here's the thing: I won like 10 units on them last year. What's 1? You know what I mean? It's not like I put 10 units on their under.
Steak is kind of putting me in my place here. You said the same exact. Yeah, but I didn't fade the Packers on the season. I did say it though, but I stayed off.
So what about betting your favorite team win total over, and then putting all that on them in the playoffs and giving those units back? Is that similar or is that different?
No,
just hypothetical. Totally hypothetical.
That's totally different. If you think a team is going to be good,
okay,
you bet their win total over. Then they get the playoffs, and you bet them to win. That's the same thing. You
gave that money back.
Yeah, and you're going to give you were potentially going to give it back now, going against what you originally thought last year. But it's for good reasons. I like the reasons as well. Stephon Diggs there, Joe Mixon there. You had some really good points in the newsletter in the write-up.
The other things I just sprinkled these just for fun, but for division, it's Jaguars and Colts intermixed at first. So it's exact. Let me back up. It's exact position throughout the division of the AFC South. So I mixed. I did one for each. Jaguars first, Colts second, Colts first, Jags second, and then Texans third, Titans fourth. One
That's
of them's
fun.
14-1, the other's 16-1. So that was my other way of kind of fading the Texans.
That's very fun. By the way, mid-major Matt, 5 sub banks. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you again for the space last night. That was excellent. Greg, thank you for the sub banks too the other day, sneaking in there and growing. RIP Kobe and Gigi loves Greg. They love when Greg makes an appearance. What did Dejan and Greg say they are picking? I don't know what you're referring to. Why does Greg kind of look like Brandon Aubrey in 10 years?
He's a Cowboys kicker. I just had to look that up.
Oh, I was like, I don't know who Brandon Aubrey is. Steak great SGP last night. Yep, Steak W's on the
that was amazing. Steak
already coming out with a bang. We love to see it. I hope that's an indication that we're going to have a big year. All right, so Greg, give me your W game script here because I don't know if you're going to be joining the Underdog stream. We're going to have 10 to 11 on Sunday.
Yeah, we'll see. But I think that the Texans' biggest weakness is against the run. I mean, if you look at this game last year, sure. Week 18, the Colts almost beat them and could have had it, but it was like a third string running back and it was Gardner Minshew. But earlier in the year, they beat the shit out of them. And the Texans' biggest weakness, I just think this line has swung way too much. That's a lot of points on the road in a divisional game against a team that you got your ass kicked by the first time you played them. And the second time you played them, it came down to last second play that could have gone either way. To give that many points on the road, I just think there's a lot of people buying into this hype. I mean, yeah, you added a bunch of new guys, a bunch of hype, but I mean, that's also those guys have to mesh on the team. It's not basketball where you just put another superstar out there and go nuts. Like it's a much more team game in that element. And I do think Diggs is going to bring a little bit of negativity because he's a very me guy. And this is what I said really on their write up too is CJ Stroud still in his, he's in his second year. He did phenomenal. But now he's going to balance a bunch of egos and lead the team, and everybody's got a bullseye on him. And I just don't like all those things coming together. So I do like the Colts coming out. I just think they're bitter about that loss. I think Steichen is a really good coach. And I think they've had this one circled all offseason because in what other situation do you play a team week 18 and then you get them week 1 again, right? Like that's great.
Yeah, catching points at home in a revenge spot I've started to realize tends to be a little bit trappish, but the more I think about it, the more I hear people talk, everybody is it sounds like is taking the Texans on the money line or some way, shape, or form. So I do think there is a somewhat of an element of being contrarian with the pick. Not saying that is at all the focal point of the reasoning for this, but I'm with it. I'm good with it. And just in terms of like props, you have a guy or somebody that you like. Anthony Richardson is up here.
I think, like I said, I think it would either be Anthony Richardson rushing or Jonathan Taylor rushing. I think they just try and run the ball on him as much as they can. Maybe Richardson will obviously dink and dunk and maybe take a couple deep shots, but I think they want to keep Stroud off the field, and I think that goes directly to Jonathan Taylor. Right, like last year he had such a wonky year because the contract dispute and then like an injury. So I really like him to come out, super focused this year and have a great start to the season.
I like longest completion, and it's not to go against your thought on the rushing game. I actually think the running game is probably
open up a big shot. Yeah,
exactly. This Adonai Mitchell guy is interesting. I don't really know much about him.
Is he from Georgia?
No, he's from Texas.
Oh, okay.
But people like sneaky like him. Trey Sermon is a guy I was wrong on. I thought he was going to be a badass. I think he was a running back from.
I really thought the Steelers. I mean, as much as everybody gave the Steelers shit for taking Najee, that was the other guy they were looking at.
Yeah, I probably would have taken Trey Sermon. I thought he was awesome.
Yeah,
at Ohio State. Let's see, what else do we have? I don't even know who Julian Blackmon is. So funny. Like the Colts have like a bunch of guys.
By the Niners, right?
Who? Trey Sermon? Yeah.
God, they suck at drafting. Those
I know. It's fucking.
And it's crazy they're still so good.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say they suck at drafting because they've always had some great draft picks, but to miss on him and to miss as bad as you did on Trey Lance, like
the Trey Lance thing. I'm not kidding. I'm still to this forever to my.
There's going to be a documentary about it.
I will tell you that to this day, they just made that trade to put themselves in a position to take a quarterback. They didn't know who they were taking until the time was there for them to make the draft, and they were just like, Trey Lance. That's what I think happened. That's cool. Oh, I don't remember. I don't know what he's talking about. Kyle Granson. I don't know who that is. Prime those. Oh, I don't know. We're talking too much about Prime. Can we? What's by the way? What's going on here? I don't really know what's going on. It sounds like it's just too much of a distraction. We need to probably take some action. Hold on. Let's see. All right, there. That's good.
What are you doing?
I'm timing out Prime for 10 minutes. I think it's probably for the best. All right, let's go. Look what else we have on the board. So our other we've got Steak best bet with the Steelers. I think you're a Steelers fan. You probably, but are you a Falcons fader this year in the future?
No,
market?
I'm gonna bet the Falcons do win the division, but I'm gonna wait.
Oh, God.
Because so week 1 is biased, right? They play the Steelers, so I don't want to. And also I don't want to spend 140 on the Falcons. Like, if they win the first 3 and I'm wrong, I'm happily to let that ship sail. But if they lose week 1 to the Steelers, and then I think they play Eagles Chiefs, I'm not exactly sure, but they have 2 really tough games after the Steeler game. And that's when I want to get in, because that's when you might be able to get them at 150, 160, 180. And that's where I want the Falcons. I don't want to risk 140 to win 1. Like I'd rather put a half unit if they start out pretty chompy.
Yeah. So
I mean, they usually could. It's a new coach, it's a new quarterback, it's a new OC, it's a whole new cast of characters.
Right. Okay. So you're going against Steak there, which I love. You're kind of head to head. You have no faith in the Bucks. I think that probably has something to do with me, and that's fine on a personal
level. Nothing
level.
to do with you.
Okay, fair enough. So Steak is taking the Bucks to win the division. You're gonna try to wait for a better number. I hope that works out for you, because if the Bucks beat the Washington Commanders 48-10, their odds might increase a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. So the Bucks play 2 rookie quarterbacks in their first 3 games, right? So they can easily be 2-1. Falcons are 1-2. That's a good time to buy.
I see what you're saying. You are. Yeah. So in a way, you're hoping the Bucks do well
in the first 3 weeks.
Yeah. Right.
Except not against the Lions, because I need the Lions to go undefeated.
You have the Lions to go undefeated?
No, just to be the last team to lose, like the last undefeated team.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's probably a good look. We all have some investment in the Lions. You can't find anybody without a little skin in the Lions.
Yeah. They've been down for so long.
I hate this YouTube chat. This is so fun having somebody in detention. Okay, what's up, Villainous? How are you? And thank you for the sub bang, Ian 228488, 18-monther, year and a half. Happy anniversary. All right. Other plays in the contest. Greg, you don't love it, and it's okay that you don't. I respect it. We kind of had what do you have that look for?
I'm curious which one you're going to say, because I go ahead.
Oh, you really don't like either of the other 2 entries we have in the contest. You know what, though? This is going to come full circle, because there's going to be times, I think, where I don't really like something, and I'm going to let you have the say. But
look, this is democracy. If 2 of the 3 are on it, and I do, so which one are you going to stay? Start with that.
Which one do you want me to say first?
Cowboys.
Yeah. Okay. The only way you can convince yourself to come around to the Cowboys this week is that the best time to do it is when they're healthy and they don't have injuries.
Yeah, and I have come around to the Cowboys. I don't know if I'm punching them in, but I have come around. I like that play in the Circa contest. I like where we stand on it. I do think when you look at the Browns, they have a great roster, but Watson is still a massive liability, and the Cowboys defense is still pretty good. I don't think Zimmer's had enough time to fuck it up yet. So I like that side of it too.
I like that. That's actually, we should put that on a graphic. Like, why are we betting the Cowboys? We don't think Zimmer has had enough time to fuck it up yet. I'm not even kidding.
Look at the Eagles last year. They got new coordinators. They weren't good, but they're still kind of rode the wave, right? It's not like a new guy comes in and it's like everybody forgets how to play football. It's just week over week, he makes them a little bit worse.
Honestly, this is brilliant. This is brilliant. This is some of your finest work. This is
right where I strike.
This is some of your finest week 1 work, in my opinion. I like where your head's at. Zimmer, I tweeted about it. 68 years old. The guy was fucking around at Colorado last year, and now he's defensive coordinator. I still think the hire of Mike McCarthy was insane. But the Cowboys have shown some flashes. And look, Steak is on. Steak, you're in the chat. If you are, look at this. It's our year. That is not the correct R. Nice job there. Cowboys going all the way. Fair enough. Steak said take Prime out of timeout for me, please. Need primer for this. Yep. This is the year it happens. Okay.
Is Prime a Cowboys guy?
It's amazing that you have to ask that, and that just tells me.
As soon as I ask it, I realize.
Yeah. He's he's just the biggest Homer fan. But I'm not kidding. I think he's like a plant. Do you know what an industry plant is?
Like Tim Pool.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
Let's not try to get political. What's that chick that
Kamala
was like?
Harris.
What's that chick that was interviewing people, and she was like talking like really confused, and she like apparently rumors were that she had an affair with Drake, and she divorced her husband. And
Bobby Alford.
Yeah. I liked that she has big boobs. Oh. Okay. Well, anyways, that's not the first thing I thought of when I thought about Bobby Alford. But anyways, I remember retweeting a video. I was like, I kind of like these interviews. These are funny. And then I had a bunch of people comment like, she's definitely an industry plant. I was like, oh,
yeah. She kind of leaned into it, and then she kind of went away.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to her, but I think she hooked up with Drake as the rumors. And then
I think a lot of her initial branding, because I think a lot of people are like, oh, how'd she get so famous? But she was kind of like a mom influencer. And then once she got pretty famous, she like divorced her husband. And I think a lot of her like initial fan base was like, wait, I followed you for like good health, family, like raising kid stuff, and you got famous, and now you're like twerking with rappers and left your family. Like, I think that's sort of what happened.
You know what I didn't like about her is when she was kind of talking about her upbringing, and she was trying to act like, oh, I'm self-made and I didn't have much. But then she said where she was from and where she grew up, and it was like a fucking neighborhood in like Southern California, like outside
the David Beckham thing. What did your dad pick you up in from work?
Oh, yeah.
We're middle class. He's like, oh, Rolls Royce. It's like, all right.
Is that actually what happened?
Yeah, the Beckham thing was pretty good. Yeah, it's like
was it with her though?
Huh?
Was it with her?
Yeah, she's doing an interview, and she's like, yeah, I grew up like middle class, and you hear like a from the background. He's like, tell him what your dad used to drop you from school, and she's like, that doesn't matter. He's like, what did your dad drop you from school? And she's like, a Rolls Royce. You haven't seen that meme? So it's like, oh yeah,
I've heard it. I just didn't realize that it was actually her. Yeah. What are we talking about next? Taylor Swift's outfit. I got to tell you, I saw on that note. It looks like Taylor Swift. I think the public perception is that maybe she looked better in that outfit last night.
I think they were joking about going into Taylor Swift.
No, I know, but now that we're here, I'm not. I don't think Taylor Swift is that good looking. Do you?
She's not famous for her look. She's famous for her talent.
I'm fully aware what she's famous for, and I know you would say that because you've listened to Blank Space 800 million times, which I like actually. By the way, I'm a big Blank Space guy.
It changed YouTube.
Oh, you're right. It did kind of change YouTube, maybe, but I agree. Steak. I agree. Absolutely. Yeah. This is funny. Talent in quotes. It's very funny. Soft 6. Let's be real.
Yes, here we go.
Greg, do you like the over tonight? I love the over. Yes, Greg likes the over.
I parlayed the over with the Eagles money line.
Don't sexualize her. You know the funniest thing? If we ever got canceled, it would be in the most unintentional, harmless, innocent way, likely led by you.
Yeah. It's tough to argue against that. It's tough to argue.
I know. I think for our evidence, though, if it ever happened, we would just have to show like a picture of your face. All right, but let's get back to the board. So you've come around to the Cowboys. I'm happy to hear that. And then so 4 picks. Again, we've got Steelers' best bet for Steak. Greg's best bet is the Colts. My best bet is the Eagles. We have the Cowboys. And then our 5th and final pick, which I know you're not happy about.
Come around to.
And that's totally fine. I understand. I know I'm prepared to regret this. I'm already prepared. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. The 2 out of the 5 that we have, the 2 that I'm already prepared to regret, actually is my best bet with the Eagles. I'm already prepared to kick myself and just wish I took the over instead of fading Jordan Love, because it's like, well, he's just that fucking good, and the Eagles defense still sucks. And the second one is the Minnesota Vikings, because it's like, why did I bet as Sam Darnold on the road as a favorite? But I got to tell you, man, it's a little bit deeper than that. It's more about trusting Kevin O'Connell. And it's more about trusting the fact that I still think the Minnesota Vikings have weapons. Whereas I look at the Giants, and you and I both listened to Adam Chernoff, who we've been raving about for a while. I think he's great and very smart. He actually said, I think over the course of the week, he didn't have a side in the game, but somebody he knows and respects did release the Vikings, and that moved it from a pick 'em to 1.5 or even 2. Money's come back in on the Giants, and I believe he is now liking the Giants.
He's on the Giants.
But you know what I don't like? His reasoning. Here's why. Yep. You know what I don't like? This is the reasoning. It's too obvious to me. Brian Daboll is taking over play calling.
What is obvious about Daniel Jones?
No. The reason
Daniel Jones.
No. The reason
kind of look like him too.
Stop.
You're like one more hot dog and spaghetti meal away from being that guy.
And Daniel Jones?
No, the chubby guy who did this, the NBA guy, LeBron's buddy.
Oh, what's his name? Brian.
No, the fat guy with the beard.
You can't. Here you go again. You can't get us canceled.
He's not fat. You can't tell me that guy's not fat.
Okay, wait, no, but back to the game. I really thought you were saying I look like Daniel Jones. I'm like, what are you talking?
No. You look like the LeBron's chubby insider agent. Windhurst.
Thank you, Jay Free. Dak MVP just made me spit out my coffee. Who said Dak MVP? We didn't say that, right?
Somebody probably Prime.
Hey, I made a good point with my defensive points. Okay, anyways, but his reasoning is, Dayball's taking over the play calling. I like that. I like the Giants. No, I don't agree. I don't think the Giants have any weapons that intimidate me, and I am a big Malik Neighbors guy, but it's still week 1 for Malik Neighbors in this offense and live action NFL game with a Brian Flores defense. Now, listen, I did hear a stat that concerned me, whether it was from him or somebody else in a space or a stream. I think that Brian Daboll's record when he was with the Bills against the Brian Flores defense is pretty fucking good. So he knows Flores pretty well. I do think, he's going to be aggressive. He's going to pass rush. He might force a turnover or two, but maybe they're going to prepare for that. A lot of quick releases. He fucking, they already killed the Vikings before, but that wasn't when Flores was defensive coordinator. Totally new personnel. I think this game, I gave you a hint before you came on. I gave the chat a hint that I'm going to have my masterclass candidates for the weekend. You already know I like Sam Darnold. Justin Jefferson is going to have, I'm not even scared to mush it, a masterclass this weekend. And I already have him punched in 175 alt yards receiving, 11-1. I think he's going to put on a show. Then I think Kevin O'Connell and Sam Darnold, they're out there with no expectations, no pressure. Daboll's coaching for his job, maybe, or at least so his seat isn't warm. Daniel Jones is the last year for him, a lot of pressure. I think they're just going to go out there and fucking sling that rock. And when they hand it off, they got Aaron Jones, who still is pretty good. I like the Vikings to score. I like the Vikings to win. I like Sam Darnold touchdown passes, and I like Justin Jefferson receiving yards. Greg, I understand you're not feel very good about that.
You touched on what I think, and you said it is negative, but this season for the Vikings was supposed to be about Darnold and McCarthy, right? And now that the McCarthy angle's gone, so it's kind of a wash. Like the Vikings can be terrible this year. O'Connell's not losing his job. Darnold's, this is it no matter what. He's not being resurrected. So regardless for them, this is kind of a like, let's figure it out. Let's give it an old college try and see how we do this year. I think the Giants, it's desperation, and Daboll's out if it's bad. Daniel Jones is out if it's bad. So this is like, we got to come in. Like, this is their, not necessarily the Super Bowl, but like, we got to come out good. Because I forget what their schedule is, where they have, I think it's, I'll look it up. They have 2 easy games, and then it's a really tough sled of stuff. So they have to like really come out big. And this is, I think, the only home game of their first 2. So I like them here. It might be Vikings Commanders. So I actually think they pull this one out and win it, just because it's such an important game for everyone involved, right? Daboll taking over play call is sure it's good. He's going to be better at it, but it's more a signal of like, pull out all the stops. This has to be a successful year, and we have to turn a corner to get back to being a respectable football team.
For Daboll.
Yeah. And
a lot of pressure. A lot of pressure.
I don't know if it's pressure, though.
You just said we have to get back to being a respectful football team.
Yeah,
which I agree with. I agree with.
He's gone from the NFL forever, but like it's pressure, but I'm fine with that.
I understood.
One way to make diamonds is pressure, baby.
So, okay, I'm already ready for you to kick me in the nuts, and I will lean in and let you have my forehead to flick it when the Vikings lose this game 28-14. But I'm not
prepared. You and Staker on it. I get the reason why. I think it's really tough for anybody to get there mentally with Daniel Jones and the Giants, just as bad as they've looked last year.
That's fair. Yeah, and again, I'm not over here like trying to be Mr. Contrarian. I do think that it's a lot of respect that the Vikings are laying points on the road, really against anybody, maybe except the Patriots. I don't know.
Who doesn't think the Giants are one of the worst teams in the NFL this year? Who doesn't put them in the bottom 3?
Who doesn't have? What's the Vikings win total? 6.5. What's the Giants? 5.5. So they're like 1 game better.
Yeah, but look at the Vikings division. They get 3 monsters in it. The Giants at least get 2 against the Commanders.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I guess maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. But nevertheless, what does it say? Oh, E-Dog. I wanted to mention something. I actually do think the Giants defense has potential to be decent. I like that front seven. And I've got Thibodeau, however you pronounce it, Kayvon Thibodeau, sack leader and a little sprinkle long shot defensive player of the year. Brian Burns is a dog. I love Brian Burns. Dexter Lawrence is really good. But yeah, Sam Darnold can move. He's not very accurate, but he can move. But what are you talking about?
Move?
Sam Darnold can. You don't know Sam Darnold's game. You know how I know this, though? I'll be honest with you. I only know this because I hit him first TD score 40-1 when he had a 50-yard run. I was at Topgolf with my family, and the Jets were playing somebody on like Thursday night or whatever. Monday Night Football, maybe. Do you remember that? He had like a 50-yard touchdown run, Sam Darnold? No. I'm going to Google it. But anyways.
I'm sure he did. I'm not saying he didn't. I don't think people look at Sam Darnold and think he's mobile.
50-yard touchdown.
Yeah, Sam Darnold can move as well as Daniel Jones can throw a football.
Sam Darnold, crazy 46-yard touchdown run. It was against the Broncos.
Look, I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm just saying it happened once.
Oh, what is this? What is this? Oh, this is on Reddit. Sam Darnold hits Justin Jefferson for a 50-yard touchdown clip at practice. I'm going to tell you right now, this motherfucker.
Practice? No way.
Yep, at practice, Greg. I'm telling you right now, Sam Darnold is about to throw for 3 touchdowns. He and Baker Mayfield, masterclass candidates, but Justin Jefferson over 175 plus yards, 11-1. Those are our 5 plays. Greg's not feeling good about it. All right, Greg, let me ask you.
I feel good about 4 of them, and I'm fine to be on the other side of it because fucking in what world am I going to think I'm going to go 5-0? So it's fine.
No, you know what this is? This whole journey is like a long road trip across the country, and right off the bat, you're like, I'll sit, bitch. And that's okay because we're all going to alternate. All of us are going to alternate. You're getting it out early. I appreciate that. I respect that. And you know what? At the end of the day, as much as I want the Bucks in there, I can't have the Bucks in there because then you could really have free reign to rub my nose.
But honestly, like there's nothing else I was that passionate about.
So that's what I was going to ask you. Let's just, while we're here, and thank you for joining, by the way. This has been great. It's fun to talk to you. I think the chat's enjoying it too. I am curious if you did have your way. Say, Greg, you're not riding bitch. You're getting in the driver's seat. We got a full tank of gas. You've got a nice 36-ounce big gulp full of coffee. What are you putting in the Circa Millions contest? 5 picks. We have our 3 best bets. You've come around to the Cowboys, but you don't like the Vikings. What is that 5th pick?
Man, you know what I'm kind of warming up to? State gave me credit for that, so maybe I'm just feeling.
Oh, don't say the fucking Broncos,
dude. I hate the Broncos. Let me be very clear. I think Bo Nix sucks. I took him to throw the most interceptions, but this to me just seems like the biggest no-brainer bet of the weekend.
I agree.
I agree. Like the biggest no-brainer. You have Bo Nix, rookie, who's going into one of the toughest stadiums to play against a very good defense, against a new head coach who's one of the best defensive minds in the game. Like, who in the world wants the Broncos here? And I think they just kind of pull a surprise. But I also on the other side of it, so my bet on this, I put a half a unit on the Broncos money line because I'd rather do that than sweat Bo Nix driving down the field late and throwing a pick to lose it. Or I'd rather do that than the Broncos lose by 30 and everyone's like, what an asshole betting the Broncos +6. So just half a unit, money line. We'll see what happens. But that would be my last pick in there because I do think you need to throw some stuff in there that nobody else is looking at. And I think the Seahawks, especially among sharp guys, I think the Seahawks check every single box of why you would bet them.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. And look, at the end of the day, we're going to win bets. We're going to lose bets.
It's not over a touchdown. It's not over a touchdown at home.
Dude, I'm with you. I fucking tweeted it. I said, this looks like the easiest bet on the board. I just can't come around to doing it. Me 10 years ago, I'd probably already have the fucking Broncos and something, but I respect it because more so than anything, we talk about this all the time, me, you, and Steak. We want to be a little original, unique. We don't want to just regurgitate the fucking same plays. I actually despise that. when you just see fucking people on Twitter just having the same fucking plays over and over and again. Not really so much for sides. It's more so a player prop thing. But I like taking a stand. I like putting yourself out there. A lot of people don't have the balls to do it. And I think that there is at least a little bit of a reason here. And my reason is it just looks too easy. I think, and people are going to say, but DGen, look at, what are they going to say? The Bengals are only -8.5, and they're the Bengals. People are picking Joe Burrow to win the MVP. They're picking him to win the Super Bowl. They're 8.5. So what can you really make the Seahawks? And it's against the worst team in the league, what people are expected to be. Like, I sort of get that, but I still think there's something about like the home field of Seattle probably being the toughest place to play. One of certainly
against a guy who's never played a football game.
Exactly. And even though the Patriots are going to be terrible, you've got Jacoby Brissett starting, who has played football. And I just think a rookie QB on the road in Seattle week 1 sounds like to me, that's all you have to say. I don't even care who the team is. I don't care who the coach is. I don't care who the wide receiver is. A rookie quarterback on the road in Seattle, I'm going to likely say there is a slim to zero chance they're going to win. And then you tell me it's not even a full touchdown. So I'm with you. I like it. Okay, so you would put the Broncos in there in a circa millions contest instead of the Vikings.
Well, we make a bunch of picks, so it's not like it's this is the one pick. You know what I mean? It's 5 picks, 5 times 18, whatever that is. Somebody do that math, right? Like, I'm fine putting them in there this week at this spot because there's literally nothing else that really jumps out to me that much.
You don't know what 5 times 18 is?
Not off the top of my head.
90.
200, 190, 90, just 90. Yeah. Good job.
It's the only thing I'm good at. Give me a multiplication problem right now.
I'm not doing this.
Okay, fine.
No one else can do this.
Okay. I am curious though, Greg. I want to talk
guys in their late 30s doing multiplication tables. Stream on Twitch.
Listen, if you see what people do out there on Twitch streams and content, it's way worse. People, if you ever go on Twitch, there's people that are literally sleeping. And they got 34,000 people watching them sleep. Anyways, 90 picks. You got to get to like 55 points to make it. The Detroit Lions are 4.5. Interesting. Wait, have you guys not submitted your circa picks yet? No, I submitted them this morning. Yeah, I submitted them this morning. We paid for the extension though. I think it was like an extra $50. We do have till Saturday, but we are playing the Friday game, so we needed to get in there. Greg, before we wrap it up, we've got like 9 minutes before noon. Thank you. I'm not a big fantasy guy, but I did already tell myself when I have you on here because the chat and people in general loves fantasy football. I wanted to know, do you have any players, whether it's on your team or maybe someone else's team that you wish you had, anybody that you're really looking at this weekend or the course of the season? Because I've said this before, but it's been a while. You are surprisingly a very good fantasy football player.
I was very bad last year. I have not had a good year in a couple of years, but
maybe I mushed you.
maybe you did, maybe a little bit. But I have been good in the past. I mean, I'm looking right now at my team of just like a guy I drafted. I mean, Breece Hall, but that's everybody.
Can you stop calling him that?
The extra E throws me off. It's just Breece.
Yes, I just got roasted for calling him Rashay Rice. Did you know it was Rashee Rice?
Yeah, I knew that.
Okay, it's just Breece.
Breece. All right. So anyway, it's
Breece. You're in New York. You'll get stabbed for walking around calling him Breece Hall.
No one cares about the Jets that much. Like maybe this year I will if they're actually good.
Exactly.
But I kind of think McCaffrey gets hurt.
Oh, Jesus. That's what you're going to come out of the gate with?
Huh?
That's what you're going to come out of the gate with?
Yeah. So I'm going to Jordan Mason because he's their backup. So that's another ridiculous one. But you made me start with Breece Hall. So anyway, the other guy I really like.
With anybody.
I'm a huge David Montgomery fan because I think he's just meat and potatoes. Like no one's ever got him like that high, and he just always seems to like chug along, keep doing well. Who else is out there?
Jordan Mason, huh? Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, he's the bat. Well, Elijah Mitchell is out for the year. So, yeah, and I just think McCaffrey, dude, he has had injury issues in the past. He was healthy all year last year. So I don't know. We're on different wavelengths with the Niners, and I'll get on my soapbox with this right now. But they're only 190 to win the division, which just seems too easy. Like when you do a division parlay and you're like, oh, they're going to win this, they're going to win this, who isn't throwing the 49ers in there? And sure, the Chiefs are the same boat, but the Chiefs are a different animal. I just think they struggle a little bit this year, and I'm not saying they don't win the division because they're overwhelming favorites, but I think there's a little bit of trouble in San Francisco. I just think the way they lost that Super Bowl, there's no way that doesn't keep you up at night. There's no way. There's just so many things, not fluky things, but things like fucking the guy Ray McLeod dropping that kick. Like, there's just so many things that they absolutely should have won that game. And now the Chiefs are that much better. And they just were really lucky not to get injured in that last year. And I feel like that was it. That was their shot. Like, it's not just rinse, repeat. We're going to get right back there. So anyway, that's a long way of saying, like, I'm not a big CMC guy this year.
That's fair.
You know, there's another guy that I'll give you that a lot of people actually like that I was kind of surprised by, but Shakir on the Bills.
Steak loves Shakir too.
Steak's on him too. Yeah, I think because somebody's getting Keon Coleman absolutely could be a big deep threat there too. But I like the Bills offense to be really good this year. So Kincaid, Keon Coleman, Kincaid. James Cook. Yep. Nothing surprising, but I think they're just an offense that just eats week in, week out.
Who is so we're in an auction league, and Greg, how many championships have you won? 2? You won 3. That's impressive. And he's been in the playoffs for like the Final Four quite a bit. Who is so in an auction? I'm sure most people that listen to this don't do auctions, but I've come around to the auction. It's very fun.
I like Trey Benson too. Somebody just said in the chat. I like Trey Benson too.
Who were like the 2 or 3 guys on your team that you had to have and that you do have?
Breece Hall. He was like, it was. I wasn't going to go for broke because in our league, guys like that go for a ton. Mm-hmm. But I feel like I got him at a reasonable price, and he was a guy I typically don't overspend on people or spend on like the big top-notch guys. He was one.
I hope not, because I have James Conner. I kind of like James Conner. Okay, so you got Breece.
From a quarterback perspective, I like Burrow from a value. Like, I feel like he's under the radar a little bit.
He is, yeah.
And so I liked him. Zamir White is another guy who I think could be really good. He can also be terrible. But sure. I think, like, if you want to get there in stat nerds, the volume's going to be there. And his backup is Alexander Mattison, who I think is one of the worst running backs in the NFL. So I don't think it's as much of a split between them as possible. But again, this guy could absolutely suck. You don't really know anything about him. But the Raiders are going to feed him like crazy.
We call that boom or bust. That's actually an interesting take. Zamir White, you got any interest in playing him week 1 against the Chargers?
Yeah, I am. He's on my team. He's starting.
Okay. Maybe we'll look for Sunday morning stream. We'll talk about that. Ramble said thoughts on Drake London.
Too much hype.
Yeah. Steak's not a Drake London guy either. I'm not a Drake London guy. I'll say it's
fine, but like, why would you? Who doesn't think he's going to have a great year, right? And I don't know. I feel like the Falcons, like, he easily could be. Phils, he absolutely could be. Because you just don't know who he is yet. But he had a couple good games where he looked decent.
Okay, and then Greg, this is what we're going to finish it with. You're going to help me. You're going to help me start my fantasy lineup.
Does anyone want to do this?
No. Does nobody want to? Okay.
I don't know. I feel like talking about someone else's fantasy team is one of the most boring things someone can do.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, well, we've talked about every game all week, and so I just didn't want to just.
Oh, have you? You've gone over a lot of the games?
Yeah, we just did a space last night.
What about Sunday and Monday night?
Sunday night.
Wait on those. What are your early gut checks?
Monday, we're going to talk about the game on Monday. I like to save that standalone game for Thursdays and Mondays. We'll lean into the game, which we did yesterday. We talked about the game at length, and we came away with some good reads. As I mentioned, some of those player props in the underdog parlay went 3 for 4. Okay, let's talk about Sunday night. We'll wrap it up with that because isn't that the Lions-Rams?
Yes.
Okay, and are you going to be betting on that game despite being invested with the Lions? Steak is going Lions team total over, by the way. He did say that yesterday on Owner's Box.
Who said that?
Steak is going Lions.
I was going to say I might tail that because I do just think the Rams really, really struggle on defense.
This is funny. Looking for a way to blame Greg if his team loses.
Yeah, you're telling me to start him, yeah.
Greg has been my consultant for years, low-key, which has been great. But, okay, anyway, sorry. What are you thinking about in this game? I saw you take a deep breath. So it doesn't
I would probably tail Steak because I have like if you look at the Lions schedule, I took them to be last undefeated team.
Mhm.
I mean, obviously anything can happen any given week, but like if you look at the first 8 weeks of the season, this one is the greatest chance for them to lose. And I just think even though they beat him last year and Goff got his revenge, like I think that just he was stabbed in the back and done so dirty that I don't think he'll ever not be way up for this game. And they really should have lost that game last year in the playoffs to the Rams. So I think they perform a little bit better. Aaron Donald's obviously gone. That's a massive hole.
Massive.
Yeah, and I just think the Lions are coming out for blood this year.
I would be worried about Montgomery 100 yards. Yeah, is that because Gibbs is injured? Is that why?
No, Gibbs is playing. He's good.
Gibbs is playing. 100 is 500. Yeah, so I actually like the running attack. The only reason I'm nervous about that Lions team total over is I just wonder, they're going to be a high octane offense, but I just wonder if they're just in such control of the game that they just eat up the clock and run the ball. And, if you just get stalled 1 or 2 times in the end zone and those turn into field goals instead of touchdowns, it would just suck if they won like 24-10. Keeping the Rams offense 10 points is going to be tough, but I'm down on the Rams. I'm under on the Rams win total this year. I saw they just had another injury to I think the defensive side of the ball. Another guy's going to be on the IR for the first 4 weeks.
Oh,
did you fade the Rams this year?
Yeah, I did. I tailed you guys. At first I wasn't on it, but I think it's, and could be shame on us, right? Because it's almost like the Mike Tomlin thing of like, McVay's always had, this good of a season or blah, blah, blah. So it's kind of a tough guy to fade because last year you could say the same thing about the Rams last year. The defense was supposed to be terrible.
Oh, wow.
The offense, there were a lot of questions, but they got it together and they were great. So,
yep.
But this year I do think that the hype's way different than last year. So I just threw a unit on there under.
So
I know a lot of teams I was on an under with. So that's kind of why I went for it. I was like, I need somebody to hate.
Yep. I'm on the Chargers under. I'm on the Ravens under. I'm on the Rams.
You took the Chargers under.
I did. Yeah. I'm
so we're both. I don't know why I'm such a Raiders guy this year. I think just Crosby on Defensive Player of the Year. But I'll probably get involved on the Raiders on Sunday.
Yeah.
Myself. It depends how my 1 o'clock slate goes.
I'm good with that. I would co-sign that bet. And I mean, frankly, I like Jim Harbaugh in that organization. I think it's going to be what they need to maybe hopefully get some winning in that culture and in their DNA. Not early. Last game we didn't talk about in our newsletter, and then we'll shut it down. We're on the over in Carolina. I'm sorry, in New Orleans. New Orleans and Carolina over, which I actually listened to Chernoff this morning. That is an official release for RAS too. I can assure you.
I always hate when he's like, we got it at 40. Now you can go buy it at 42.
Well, you know what's interesting? Yeah, because we do not tail or even buy into any pick services. But when we hear that, it's, don't get me wrong. I'm happy we're on the same side. He said he got it at 41.5 and it hasn't even moved.
Oh, really?
But it moved. I think it moved from the opener from 40.5, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
But they said they released it at 41.5.
Yeah, I feel like whenever he says the release, he's like, it moved a point. So that's another thing too that would drive me crazy. Like if you subscribe to it, I guess they keep everything quiet, but you would assume, like, I don't know, if I paid for something and it came out at 41 and I was busy that day and I checked it at night and it's at 42, I'd be like a little annoyed that I spent $1,000 on this package. You know what I mean? But I don't know how you do it. It's an open market, right?
That's kind of accountability on yourself. Then you have to be checking.
You have to know. Yeah.
People,
that in Vegas when we would go to the counter and I'd be behind Jake in line and I'd be like betting $100 and he fucking moved the line a point, opened his little Gucci purse bag and like, boom. And I'm like, oh, okay, great. I guess I'll just get the Cardinals at fucking 3.5 now.
Yeah. When you were also at Foxwoods, right? Whenever we walked up to the kiosk and we put Skylar Thompson over 8.5 rushing yards for $100 and
you moved it a line. You moved it at half a yard. Yeah.
No, full yard.
I mean, who cares? He ended up with 2 yards.
Right? He ended up with 2 yards. Yeah, it didn't hit. All right, Greg, thanks, man, for coming on. Appreciate it.
Sure. Good to see everybody.
Have a great day. Good luck this weekend. Greg. Gucci purse bag is insane. Yep. Jake fucking loves anytime like a trend comes out. By the way, my wife's on a corp call, so I just lowered my voice. Anytime a trend comes out, Steak will hop on it. Not like a betting trend, but like, the hoverboard. Do you remember the hoverboard? Do you remember when people were hovering around on hoverboards? Steak just is like, yeah, whatever, I'll try it. Steak is fucking, I go to see Steak he was living in an apartment building at the time. I go to see Steak and this motherfucker is just hovering, meet me in the elevator or whatever to let me in, hovering to the elevator, hoverboarding back to his apartment. I'm like, are you fucking 8 years old? He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, all the fucking Rugrats have hoverboards. You just think you should get a hoverboard because all these fucking Rugrats and these Fortnite fuckers have hoverboards? No. So now I'm telling you, I bet he went to fucking Disney or Epcot. I don't know if he goes to Disney. I bet he went to Epcot one day and he saw everybody starting to wear the fucking, the what do you call them? Man purses? Now they're not even fanny packs. Fanny packs go around your fucking waist. This is like a new thing of fashion now. I'm not into it. But, I got to give Greg credit sometimes. There's some trends and some things that I've almost fallen into. Like my dad, I give my dad he put his foot down. I really wanted spinners when I was young. I had a truck and I wanted spinners. And I literally just want to drive around and play 3-6 Mafia. I'm riding spinners. They don't stop. I wanted spinners. I was looking at spinners and he said, listen, I'm telling you right now, you are going to regret having spinners. I was like, I don't think I'm going to. He's like, I'm telling you, you're going to regret having spinners. And all I wanted to do was just drive around and just stop at a red light and play with spinners. You know what I mean? It sounded like such a great time. I never got spinners. And then Greg, the fashion thing here in New York, you got to try to kind of keep up with the fashion thing. I really liked, what the Chelsea suede boot is? Do you know what it's called? A Chelsea boot. It's like this thing. All the people I would work with, what I end up realizing, they're all also like 6 foot tall. It works better if you're tall and slim. I was like, Greg, I think I want to get one of these Chelsea boots. What do you think about those Chelsea boots? He's like, don't do it. You don't have to get into every fashion trend. You know what I mean? Jake, on the other hand, he'll just fucking try things. He'll just try whatever he wants. I love that about him. It's great. But I will tell him sometimes, I'll be like, hey, nah, that's not good. And he's receptive to feedback. That's great. Except Steak one time played catcher in our softball league. He never put his glove on the ground. He had his glove up like in his stomach, and the ball would always roll through his legs. And I'd be like, Greg, or Steak, can you put your glove on the fucking ground when a softball lands on the ground so you can catch it? You are a catcher. You're the only catcher in the league that has to turn around and run to get the ball because it goes under your legs all the time. For whatever reason, he just couldn't figure that out. But anyways, not young enough to keep up with your trends anymore. No. Remember when D-Gen gave in and wore Birks? Yeah. Dude, I fought that fight for so long. And I still to this day, I'm going to tell you right now, when I walk around with Birkenstocks, it feels great because I don't like always when it's hot outside putting shoes and socks on. It feels great, but I feel like such a douchebag at the same time. I just don't think it looks cool. And I always tell people, like, I'm not a manly man. I'm like a guy's guy, but I'm not a manly man. Does that make sense? I like to drink. I like to sit at a bar. I like to bet on sports, but like, I don't know. I think I can change a tire. I don't know 100% if I can change a tire. I've never, knock on wood, I hope I don't have to try. I've never had to be in a position where I've had to change a tire. I think I can do it. I think I can. But like, like a man's man is like, they can fucking, I've mounted a TV. You ever mounted a TV? Seriously. You ever mounted a TV? I've mounted 2 TVs in my apartment. One in my living room, one in my bedroom. I'll tell you right now, I walk around like a fucking king. I felt like I was a king. You never changed a tire. No, Prime, don't act like you've changed a tire, bro. Don't act like closer retirement than his first bet ever plates. They're so comfy. No, we didn't. No, we did not. I just forgot that. All right, let's talk college football real quick, and then we're going to shut it down. I do have some shit to attend to. Okay, let's Let's go. I totally forgot. Shit. We didn't talk college football. All right, we got 3 games on the board. 3 games on the board, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about it. There's nothing going on in Indiana. Have their win total over. Tilt stake on that one. Hopefully they win, obviously. I would watch a tire changing stream. Actually, that sounds kind of fun. That sounds like a fun stream. It's better than sleeping. These fucking kids, they're just like, oh, let's go on stream live and we'll just go to sleep at 34,000 people watching. What is it? Why are people so stupid? Do whatever you want, though. I don't care. BYU and SMU. What's up with this BYU and SMU game? I can't figure it out. Where you buy a used car from Prime. That would actually be hilarious. Over, I'm leaning. Yeah. Okay. Mustangs by 90. I'll tell you what. The by the way, does my mic sound better? I realize I really am all up in it. I don't know why I do that. I get like all up in the mic, like it's running away from me. Is that better? Maybe. That's probably better. You like SMU 12, C-Dub? Yeah, I guess I could get you a good out-the-door deal, DJN. I bet you fucking could, Prime. I'm good. I'm going to tell you right now. Listen, even though I'm in sales, I've been working in sales since I was 17. It's my first job, wireless sales. Salespeople are just cringy. They make me feel uncomfortable. If I walked in to buy a car and Prime was my salesman, I'm out. I'm just turning around. I'm like the fucking Chiefs or no Bills GM if the Chiefs call. I'm hanging up the phone. I'm like, look, no disrespect. I'm just out. Northwestern under Lake Effect sounds too easy, but Jake's squaring up. Steak squaring up. Sleeping's not the stupid one. That's what I meant. People are so stupid. Yeah, good for him, dude. If it works, it works. Like, look at fucking Taylor Mathis. Look at Taylor Mathis. This is incredible. The story of Taylor Mathis should really go into fucking the history books. Do you guys see Taylor Mathis with Walking Bets? I mean, good for her. Seriously, I want to be very clear. She seems like a nice person. Seems like a nice person. I have nothing bad to say. But like, you just straight up are like, I mean, I got a huge set of tits. I'm just going to walk around, talk about bets, and I'm going to have them bouncing around on the camera. I saw her tweet the other day. Or was it today? I don't know when it was. It said she went from 60,000 followers to 150,000 followers in like 3 weeks. But then she got called out. Oh, interesting. But then, you know what I find interesting? She said this is a dream. And I just had to, that one struck me weird when she said, like, this is a dream. Thank you so much. I wanted to be like, Taylor, I think I know what you mean. This is a dream that you have, like, you have a bigger following and you have attention and this is working. But I don't know that you realize that 90,000 people are following you to watch your tits bounce for the most part. I don't think that part is your dream. I think that's what I would tell her if I was a close friend. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? And again, this is coming from a really good place because I think she seems like a very nice person. And I'm all about anybody putting themselves out there and trying to make money. But also I'm with it. Fuck it. Fuck like morals and ethics. Who cares? Like, get rich or die trying, right? But don't take that to the extreme. Don't scam people. Don't hurt people. But I think it's fascinating. I think it's fascinating. I don't know that your average person watches that 2-minute video and hears anything she's saying. Seriously. Do you think anybody does? I don't know that anybody does. I don't know that anybody listens to one word she says, one breakdown, or one bet. If you had to guess. Okay. I just want to make sure I'm not on an island there. And I don't want to be an asshole. I know a pair of fakes when I see them. No, those aren't fake. No shot. You're an idiot. Prime, you're an idiot. You say you got potential to be a nice kid. You got some work to do in life, but you're an idiot. Psychology is crazy. Yeah, sorry, but nobody watches 90% of these females for their bets, and they know it themselves. I don't know that I really care if it's a male or a female talking about a bet. I'm just going to be honest. I'm not even trying to be like PC. Truthfully, I don't care who you are. I don't care what you look like. If you like sports betting, you talk about sports betting, and you kind of know what you're talking about, I'm good with it. Yo, that video sucked. Her, and I'll tell you, she's a very good looking lady. Very good looking lady. And she talks, she sounds like she can know what she's talking about when she talks about sports. I've listened to some of her videos in the past. That video was terrible. What are we doing? What is she thinking? What is ESPN thinking? Wasn't around for Madison Rutt. No, I really wasn't. Money is green. Yeah. She has to know what she is doing though, right? Oh, for sure. Yes. And the crazy thing is it's not that it's just working. It's working at an unbelievable rate. She is skyrocketing. They say like you can't just build something overnight. Seriously. They just can't. You can. I think it was I like Duke a lot in the under. Dad just died. Yeah, no chance. Oh wow. Ooh, that's tough. The video. Yeah. They say when you build something, I think it was, who did I hear this from? I don't know who it was. I don't know if it was like Portnoy talking about it or Greg or somebody. He reads a lot of books from like CEOs and business people. Say if you start something, it takes 8 years. That's how long it typically takes. 8 years. I'm telling you right now, Taylor, what's her name? Mathis is about to shred that. She's about to shred that. And it's fascinating. Because it's a huge set of tits bouncing on a camera every day. She is going to skyrocket up the charts. And honestly, at the end of the day, good for her. Fuck it, right? I'm sorry I got distracted. I don't really like any of these college football games. I know we said we're going to talk about them. SMU, BYU is interesting. The betting market really seems to respect SMU. 11.5 seems like a decent amount of respect. They've gotten respect nonstop, but you know what? They're probably a legit football team, and the ACC is wide open. Well, Miami looks for real. A lot of money on this over. 75% of the bet, 75% of the money is on this over. 56.5. SMU rolls easy cover. I don't know that I agree necessarily. What did this line? Let's see. What did this line open up as? NFL, NCAA football. 11.5. It's kind of staying pretty flat. According to Action Network. Total 56. It's up to 56.5. Only a little move there. Is that interesting, guys? Oh, it's Michigan, baby. It's Michigan. Hell yeah. We talked about college football with Steak Villain. If you want to go back and listen to it, I think that was Wednesday. They laughed when I said SMU 10-1 to make the playoffs. Well, it's only week 2. Relax. Fucking relax, Prime. Like, don't you do shit when you played? Also, I'm guessing we carding. Fuck Michigan, man. Yeah, I don't think so. Could be a little bit of a sneaky under here with SMU and BYU. I might have to get involved. What did BYU just do? 41-13. I don't really know much about BYU this year. SMU, by the way, last game did go over 62.5, 59-7. Scored 59 points. Maybe a first half under. BYU's gonna bring it. They're a tough team, although I don't think they were very good last year, right? They're supposed to be dog shit this year. I don't know. Double-digit favorites, though. I kind of like this under. Duke Northwestern. Looks like the line moved full point to Duke. Money coming in on Duke. If Steak says if it's square, he don't care. He's taking Duke. Fair enough. I'll leave him up to that one. Public hasn't drove that Tennessee. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I like NC State. I'm on to NC State over 8.5 wins. I hope they get it. I don't know if I'm going to double down on them, but I might. OSV 6 with a new follow. By the way, we got a hype train level 6 earlier. W's. All right, guys. I'm going to sign off. Been an hour and 47 minutes. I feel like that's pretty good. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm going to go on Ramble at 9:30 in the morning, and then Sunday we're going to do a stream with Steak and I think Style. If you remember Style with Easy Money, he'll be hopping on as well. We're going to talk player props and put together underdog parlay. All right. If you're going into games this weekend, promo code DJ, and you get $20 off your first purchase with SeatGeek. Don't forget. And lastly, don't forget to subscribe to the newsletter. If you like it, let me know. Give it a like, give it a share, give it a something. I don't know, whatever you can do. And if you don't like it, give us some feedback. All right. Have a great day. Good luck on your bets. Is there anybody to raid right now? Who's live? Who's live on this bitch? Behind the Lines is live? Behind the Lines live right now? Or am I tripping? Oh, I'll send them. I haven't rated them in a while. They're like never on at this time. Let's send you over to BTL. I didn't realize they were live. All right, let's go to raid. Book It Sports. All right, guys, join the raid. Have a great weekend. Oh shit. Is Betting News live? I like Betting News. I never raid them. I don't see them live. I don't see them live though. That's weird. Hold on. Greater dashboard. Hold on. Am I fucking up? Are they live? Hold on. We'll give them some love here. Give some love to the raid. Is it just Betting News? Yeah. Let's send you over to Betting News. I'm sure you'll pop it over to Book It Sports anyway. Nothing against BTL. You know I love the BTL guys. I think we could go over to Betting News. Give them a little more support. All right. Take it easy, guys. Have a great weekend. Peace.